And we are live. Let me get a tweet out. We are in the process of waiting for the show to come up.
Right.
So, with that, happy Friday. Merry Christmas.
We're
here. Steve's here. Josh had to go to work. So, we got Steve.
Yep.
Filling in on the day. And I think just kind of, I think, should we just get me and Steve out of the way? Like,
sure, yeah, bring it.
Well, I have a 2-week ban. I can't.
You do have a 2-week ban, so I feel like I should take full advantage of
it. And I gave myself an extra week. What am I doing? I gave myself an extra week.
I was going to give you credit today for actually, finally, for once, saying you wanted me fired. So it took long enough for you to finally say it.
I will give you my response in 2 weeks. No, it was, it was a good back and forth. I enjoyed it. And, I love the good nature that you have, Gus, that you're able to take a lot of what myself and a lot of people give you on Twitter. I mean, you have that good nature about you. So it would be hard. It actually would be hard to see you go.
See, now you're falling back on it. You can't fall back on it.
Well, like if somebody got whacked who I truly didn't like, I would be jumping up and down. If you did it, like people are saying, oh, Steve was right, take a victory lap. I mean, I would take the victory lap, but I wouldn't totally smile. I'd be like, okay, I'll take the lap.
Well, this was interesting too because I didn't necessarily pick up on it right away, but like David does not like you. It seems like.
No, God,
no, they're the hatred.
Like,
I don't mind Daver. From what I've heard from Quantum Kirk and everything, meeting him in person, nice guy. Like, I don't really have a problem with him at all. And me just saying he was kind of down on the show or whatever, I guess that was more, directed towards you, and I hadn't been picking up on that. So
is he like the number one on your list, Gus?
What, that hates me?
Yeah,
probably.
Because you don't really bring it up either, but it does seem like you and Daver is a legitimate beef going on.
Well, I think it's more one way because like right. I don't engage, I don't respond. No. I have no need to respond.
But he got you removed from Kirk and off. Right?
Yeah. And you know what? So thank you, Daver, because if that was one step that led me to here.
But there are a lot of like one-way hatred because like this week with Blind Mike, like kind of throwing some shots at me, and I'm like, I've never said anything to Blind Mike. Like,
you were a little critical of him.
Not like you, but. But
that's
when
true.
Mike comes at me, I'm like, why is he coming at me? Like, I don't have anything against him. I like him.
I just think Mike was taken off, like, because he was not necessarily, he just said you agreed with Kirk that you were down on the show, and you got a little sensitive to that.
I did, yeah. Because I like Mike. I like his content. So when you hear somebody like that, like be down against you, I'm like, oh man, like that really makes you feel bad. Cause you're like, I respect Mike for the way his career has gone. So to have somebody say like, I don't like you, I'm like, oh man, that was disappointing to me.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm 90% sure he doesn't like me either. So
there we go. What do you guys think about the end of the show when Kirk alluded that there could be a rift between him and Mike in 2024?
I could see it. I really could see it.
How Coleman? Why?
So I think Mutt has been a great add to this show and this world within this past year. I enjoy him being in. It's always, he's starting to kind of feel like one of those staple guys in here. But like Kirk was saying, if he does get a deal with, a different station, a different media outlet, maybe I don't think it would come from Mutt not wanting to be on the show. I think it's more so, the outside greater powers that be not letting him come on. So that's where I think Kirk was alluding to, that like Mutt finally gets a job, but then it takes him away from here.
And that I could see. Coleman, I did bring up Blind Mike. You took it to a different area.
Oh, I thought you said Mutt.
No, Blind Mike. Thanks for that answer, though. It was really great. I loved it.
I thought you were talking about Mutt.
Gus, I brought up. We were talking.
Blind Mike.
I fully thought you were saying Mutt.
Thanks, though. That was great about
No.
Mutt. I agree with you.
In regards to Mike, though, I forget what show it was recently. It may have been Mike and the Minifans. Maybe it was John and Warren who brought it up. But someone basically said, like, is Blind Mike in a space now where, everything's good, everything's gravy. Like, he's not going to have issues with Kirk. And for the most part, since I've been here, I've never seen any real push and pull between the two. It's been kind of very friendly, and it seems like, as you would say, Mike is the consigliere.
Right, yeah.
He's that number 2 guy to Kirk. But Kirk bringing it up today as a prediction now has me thinking a little more like, is there something we could see in the next year? I mean, there is the Vermont question as well. Is he heading out there?
I don't think he's gonna head to
chasing
but Mike really
Eggs Benedict pizza.
Mike needs him though, because if Mike gets in a riff with Kirk, the subscriptions go way down.
Well, that's the same thing with Mutt and Mutt Stack. I mean, that is an offshoot of, fans of the show subscribing. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I see nothing now, but I think that first week back, it'll be interesting to kind of follow up on and see where things stand for sure.
Now, do you guys think he's feeling a little squeezed out? Because I know in the past, before you guys were producers, like they would have him in a lot more. And I know he was full time at one point.
I think it's
but
part
he had
of it.
like 2-3 appearances a week, and now he seems like once a week.
No, I mean he's kind of been doing.
He's
two.
still doing 2.
Yeah,
he's always
typically
getting 2.
our Sunday night /
Early
Monday
weeks.
plus.
Yeah, but if you
Tuesday,
guys have like a 3-day week, he'll be like just Monday, and then wouldn't be the other 2. So
right?
You think maybe he feels a little like?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
And I think he is enjoying working on Blind Mike Project and doing his own stuff as well. I think it gives him a different place to kind of be his own show and his own personality and stuff. But no, I like Mudd in here. I like Mike in here. I think that they've been great additions and real staples to everything, whereas everyone else kind of just filters in and everything.
Which is good.
Yeah, definitely.
So where are you getting your new job, Coleman?
I'm not getting a new job. So when that happened on the show, I was trying to say this after too. Like someone had said like in 2028, and my mind was like, okay, well, I've consistently been looking at this as like a 4-year term, if you will. And would I like it to be longer? Sure. If Kirk would have me, like that would be amazing. But the past 2 producers only made it 2 years. So for me, right. I want to exceed that, and I want to be better than that, and I want to potentially double that time. I think that would be a great thing. 2028 is after Kirk goes through an entire new contract, if he even wants to. Who knows? Like he may be over it at that point and want to buy the bookstore and
right, yeah,
or go off to.
There will be that finality more than him wanting to extend it, because he's already talked about it. Like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore.
I mean, if the opportunity arose to be the producer of the Harry Minahan show, like, I may have to stick with it. I think we'd have to fight the battle against Juan for forever. So
we would have to, right?
Yeah. So no, I'm not looking.
So if Dan calls you today to go to Chicago,
I have no desire. That's the thing. I have no desire for Chicago at all. Like, I think
he was down on it yesterday.
Yeah, I think if like it's not that I wouldn't work there, but I'm not like actively looking. Like I don't really like the whole Fantasy Factory thing of it all.
It doesn't seem like it would be a good setup for either one of you to like go into that bigger atmosphere. And Coleman, you've been there before with New York, right?
Yeah. And again, like even with New York now, like I see myself here. Like I think this out of everywhere has been the best fit. Like I've always enjoyed doing podcasting, and I've always liked being able to have real conversation and talk about real things. Like that is what it attracts me, as well as the Minifans as well. Like I like a passionate fan base that is living and dying with every single thing that goes on in the world. Like that is a dream. So
that's what I was going to ask you guys. Like, what has made the experience worth it to you up to this point? Like one thing that maybe you didn't expect that you found great, or what's the one thing if someone says like, what do you like the most about your job? What would the answer be?
Kirk, I'd say. Yeah. Having worked with a lot of talent in the past, I think he's easily the best. From a producer standpoint, weirdly, I kind of think that he's one of the easiest to work with, not because, well, more so because he is able to deliver. Like you're not having to pull stuff from Kirk. Like he makes the show, he delivers the show. So in that respect, like I couldn't wish for a better talent to work with. Like you look around Barstool, he's one of these top guys. Like he's in Surviving Barstool for a reason. He's considered by Dave and Big Cat and all these big people to be a close friend and a big figure within the world. Like that's a dream itself. So Yeah, I think Kirk, and I can't say enough how appreciative I am to have been selected. You know, going back through this best of process and looking at all of the old stuff, like it's been such a whirlwind year for me, for everyone, for this show even. Like there's been so many stories and trajectories around. So yeah, I think
because you almost like forget like the Cullinane era was this year.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
You don't even. It seemed like it was like 5 years ago at this point because it's dramatically changed from when Dave was the producer.
And I think the show's naturally just going to develop because I think, and piggybacking off of what Coleman said is like I'm like working for Kirk has been great. Like I'm getting beat up, I know it, and it's deservedly so.
Right.
But it's like, but overall, I'm still pushing. Like and you can even see he's trying to push me to get better at it.
He is.
So it's one of those things for me that I appreciate. And then the other thing about it is this is a unique opportunity where I've been saying this is a job where I still smile to get up in the morning. This is a place where the first time I've been able to work and just be myself.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's people who don't like me moving around as much. Some people think it's like, this is all a shtick. No, I'm just me.
Yeah.
And I panic.
You say this in a fucking shoulderless fucking sweat. That is a woman's sweater.
It is.
Sweater.
Yeah.
I won't deny that it is. You can get it from Forever 21. Gig tweeted out the picture of it. He nailed it. This was my brother's. He couldn't fit in it anymore, so now it came down to me. Now I fit in it. I look good.
Well, Coleman, I'm waiting for him to knock you off the chair one day with all the hand movements. He might like knock you.
I know, it's crazy. You think he's the Italian in the room with all
that,
that.
right?
Well, that's
Yeah.
a European thing because Portuguese
I was
people are
gonna
like
say that's
that
the
too. We
Portuguese.
always,
Yeah.
it's a European thing.
As I always say, Portuguese is basically Italian light.
Yeah,
It's really what it is.
we have the better food though.
Yeah. I mean, pizza's my favorite.
Yeah.
So naturally
Brick oven,
for that.
though.
I mean, a good, what do the Portuguese do? Like paella? We have like paella? Can we do
There's
that?
paella,
Was it
bacalhau,
Koiva soup?
koya.
Oh, soup. What kind of soup is it?
Not. Oh no. I don't.
There's a good popular soup. I can't think of it offhand. Oh, it's gonna kill me.
I don't know.
I'm not
yeah.
tapped into my Portuguese.
I don't.
side, to
The
be
only
honest.
Portuguese food I truly eat is chorizo and peppers, which is delicious.
That is good.
Give
That
me a
is
good chorizo and pepper. Like you go down to Fall River and get one. Oh, the
That
best.
is real good.
The
Yeah.
best.
I am keeping tabs on the chat. If you guys got anything, feel free to.
We will have
Send
the
it
full show updated. There was something with the YouTube that cut out the beginning.
Yeah, so
but we'll
I
have
was
that up.
I was insanely confused about that because I watched, typically as we do to start the show, Gus send it live. I guess apparently he missed the live button, and like I watched him press, and I was like, all right, we're good. And apparently he missed it. So we have the audio, we have the backup.
It's all going to go up. It'll be up
coming,
after this.
but-
We'll have it all set up.
Yeah, annoying.
Full audio on the podcast feed. Actually, is that up yet?
I will say with yesterday's show, and we can go into some of the shows this week, but the audio with Mick on the call. So what happened on our end there? So the solo shot of Mick, for some reason, the audio was coming in
From the camera.
as well as
The
his
board.
mic from the board. So you're getting that double feed onto the YouTube. In the audio, I was able to easily fix that, though. It wasn't too much of an issue. But yeah, that sounding was,
He was underwater.
brutal.
Yeah.
It was, Titanic submarine, brutal stuff.
I thought it was YouTube. I shut the app off, turn it back on. And I'm like, it's still
Yeah.
going on. Like,
Yeah.
what is happening?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is my main concern is always watching the audio on our actual board and what I'm hearing, because that is the audio that I need to work with for getting it up and everything. And that's what Kirk has always said he's most concerned about. So that is my main issue.
Yeah.
So the main freak out for me yesterday was, and I think Gus and I figured it out, when we switch our phones between the Bluetooth, it stops the recording.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
Yeah.
yesterday, in between the mix sound, that also was going on. And that's when I started really sweating. And I was like, please just tell me we have a safe. But we got back up
Was that
some
part of a
backups
good
and-
Mick moment? Because he had the thing with his brother.
I mean,
was a funny part of the week. That was probably the best part of the week.
And I think like with people saying it's a bit, this is all that. You could see the genuine discomfort that was coming
Yes,
up on Mick.
yes.
Like he was physically discomfortable about it. And I think like even like because he didn't really want his brother to come on.
No,
he did
no.
not. So I think hopefully I've reached out to Al, so hopefully he can confirm for the second, because I think that would be great to have the two brothers in. We can bring it back.
Yeah, that
bring
would
them
be
together.
perfect. Be perfect. And because I knew that Mick had that feeling that Al was going to reveal what really happened with the broken glass, and he did. And I think Mick was so worried about that. Like, oh no, he's going to tell my secrets now. But we all knew it was a bit.
Everyone knows.
Yeah. But he was so paranoid about it.
I'm going to go through some of these comments. Ricky Slicks, Coleman blaming it on Gus. I wasn't necessarily blaming it on Gus. It's more so like, yes, like I should notice that as well. So that's fully on me. It's just a complete slip up on our end in the booth, but I own that too.
But everybody's going to blame Gus. Everybody's going to blame Gus no matter what.
Let's see what else. Pat Ford, Steve, do you consider Kane a disciple of your coaching tree? I mean, it's a fair question.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he's definitely in my family, I would say.
What is your take on Kane?
I think he means well. I just don't think the execution is there. And I think he tried to copycat me a little bit with sending things to the office. Yeah. I think if he just needs to know how to tone it down a little bit and not be so aggressive with coming at people. And the bowling alley thing is something I would never do. I mean, that's where it kind of went overboard for me.
Again, I don't care that you show up. Show up, go wherever you want. I don't care. But to come there, obviously for me, to look at me and then just to leave and not say anything. It's like as I forget who said it, but it's like, I was gonna do that funny bit, it didn't work. And look, I'll tell you, Kane, I'm gonna be there next Tuesday for bowling. If you're there, try your bit again. He
seems like an okay guy. He seems like he means well. I think he needs to work on his execution of his bits.
And it's like, even with the Papagenos thing, you can't just go to a random place and just dropping F-bombs right in front of it. There's a way it's got to be done. Like Justin has it down perfectly.
And I think that, again, he copied from Justin.
Yeah, I will say
the ideas are good. It's just how does he execute it to make it better?
Well, I'd like a little consistency too, Steve.
You have to.
As you know,
you have to, right?
We lost his review videos. He hasn't really been doing those.
No.
And he was
going to do it every show.
Whether or not I enjoyed them, I watched all of them.
Maybe he's the guy behind the Consistency podcast.
Maybe
show.
Honestly, not a bad bit.
That would be a good.
That's pretty good.
That would be good.
Let's see what else. I you know what? I kind of do like Ricky Slicks. I
do too.
Did Gus wear this shit when he got his salad tossed?
No, this was not in my possession at the time of getting my salad tossed. No.
Okay. What were you wearing? Do you remember?
I was probably
no
naked.
pants for sure.
I was probably just straight up naked.
Full naked.
Would you wear
acid?
that shirt if you get your salad tossed again?
We were in the middle of a romantic evening.
Oh my god.
So draw it out for me. Give me the timeline of when your ass gets ate. Is there foreplay? Is that the
right
foreplay?
word?
It's part of the foreplay.
Ate or eaten?
Eaten.
Yeah, but you guys ass ate. Spinsta, why not have that prelude screen at the beginning of the show? So we still have that prelude screen that is on there. That was on there for the start of the show. It's just that by not having hit start stream, you missed that.
It was like 5 minutes.
Part of it being there.
Yeah.
Like it is there, but because it was not live, you're missing that having been cut to the main show.
And we were late today, right? Didn't
we
were
were
into like 20 minutes to 10, I
exactly,
think?
Yeah,
it was a late start and then just
I don't think it was like people missed much, to be honest. I think because the actual start of the YouTube was longer, but we kind of started pretty late today.
Yeah, we started late, one, and then two, the other thing is like they were all complaining about like, why is Gus in this shirt? Like no one understood the show.
And there's nothing you can control there because he walked in at, I think it was like 9:38. Yeah. You can't control that. But then on the other side, it's like, where's the show? Where's the show? It's 9:30. Like, he didn't walk down the hallway until 9:37.
Yeah. I don't even know if we started till like 9:40.
Closer to 9.
It was close to 9:40.
I looked at my phone. It was 9:38, and he was in the hallway. You know.
All right. Why didn't you guys tell Kirk that nobody heard the first 10 minutes? I mean, again, this has happened before where I've said like the YouTube is fucking up. He doesn't care. He cares about the audio and how it's going to sound at the end of the day when it's uploaded. So that's my concern. Gus has a blouse on. That is true. Steve, how soon will you be breaking bread with Tommy DeVito's agent to see if you can hire him?
Someone sent me a message about that on Twitter. I think
That's
it'd be perfect.
It'd be a great
if
fit.
he wants to reach out to me, I would break bread with him immediately.
That would be
a good opportunity.
That would be, if you're ever to have a guest for the Consistency Pod, I think you maybe try and aim
Sean
for him.
Stellato.
I mean, Salem guy, right from that area.
Am I at that point
Italian
now?
Heritage Hall of Fame.
Am I at the point where I have to bring in a host?
No.
No, I can't be doing that.
You're you.
He would be an exception.
You're the
He would-
host. It'd be a guest.
Am I at a point though where I have to bring in a guest?
No.
I wouldn't say you don't have to bring in a guest.
I'm
but
kind of joking around
the
a
guest
little.
lines up.
I
Well,
like the
Kirk has said to do it
consistency
alone.
pod, so- Yeah.
So
no, it's the
but
best.
I would love to. If I would talk to Sean immediately if he wanted to talk to me for sure.
You guys should shut the fuck up until you get the podcast up. The podcast is literally
It's up.
processing. I can't control that. Like it's just not on our end anymore. Like we did not start this show until we hit publish. So we're waiting to.
Coleman, you're a Giants guy, right?
I am, yes.
What are they going to do next year? Daniel Jones or
I think you got to get a.
it ain't
It's
going
tough
to be DeVito?
Who are they going to get?
It's not gonna be DeVito,
hear
is
me
it?
Out. It's not going to be DeVito. I mean, we have the Daniel Jones is under contract after his lucrative deal last year, coming into the season. So you're not just going to be able to give up on Daniel Jones. I think maybe having a backup quarterback, a young guy that can maybe sit behind him a little bit. I don't know why Penix from Washington is kind of on my mind. I think he could maybe be somewhere we
he's
go.
good. He's good.
I don't know if he'll fall enough based upon the college football playoffs, but I think JJ McCarthy is someone that if you kind of traded down a bit, I don't know how high he'll go. I've seen people saying he'll go higher now.
Who's that?
but
Michigan?
Michigan.
Yeah.
He's not a bad guy to be looking at. I mean, I'm wondering too if the Pats go with McCarthy too and try to bring back some of that, Brady, Michigan.
They should go with Harrison as their number one pick, and then
No,
Brady,
I
a
disagree.
Depends where
second-round
everything
guy.
shakes up,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Drake May. That's who I
Drake
want.
May?
Drake May. Kid's got a cannon. Cannon. I've been watching some UNC tape.
Yeah, I mean, look at Sam Howell with the Commanders. It's a legitimate quarterback.
Well, he just got benched, I think, last week. They
Yeah.
much had enough of him.
Yeah, but again, if
I
you're the
think-
Commanders, I think you're fine with him
You,
going forward.
you
Yeah.
need to lose if you're the Commanders right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, what helped the Commanders out was actually the trading of Chase Young and the other guy to get some more draft picks.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
What was it? David in Maryland wants. Can I get a grade from Steve for running the account? So I think he wants you to grade his performance compared to. We can compare them
Compared
both.
to mine,
Yeah.
he was better. A- for David from Maryland. I think I was a B+, but I loved the Julie tweet.
What-
That to me was awesome.
Can I have a question for you. This was when one of your tweets, and you get mad when people say you don't listen to the show.
Yeah.
Sporty Minahan.
Oh, that was bad.
Sporty Minahan.
That was bad.
Sporty R. McKenzie is one of the oldest.
You know what? I did it, and then I was like, thank God for that edit button. I was like, oh no, what did I do? And then I was like,
We are live. So
there's an
if you
edit
wanna
button. Look at
check
this.
that out. We're all set there.
It's like, cause I had Sporty in my mind. I had Kirk on my mind, and it was like the
Oh,
pizza
it was-
thing,
I-
the pizza
oh, here
piazza
we
thing.
go.
You know,
It's-
it's the pizza piazza.
You guys can use that. I can't.
Let's see.
No, but David was great. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot.
Todd, Steve, why are you such a turtle boring dud who agrees with every word in the studio, then act tough on your solo pods a day later? What do you guys say for
How
Todd?
so?
I don't know. That's what Todd's saying. He's saying you're a turtle boring dud.
I'm a turtle boring dud.
When you come in here, but you get your fire when you're not
okay.
in here. So like you're being too nice to me now. Well, we know why you're being nice for me.
I got
You
a
got
ban
2
for
weeks.
2 weeks. What
You
am I
got 2
supposed to
weeks.
do?
He has to be nice to me.
Let's see.
I thought I brought it early.
You did.
I'm telling Kirk
You
you got
tried
his
to.
dick kicked in. I mean, what's that? That's being boring? No one's going to tell him that.
Yes, I do have MP3 versions of the audio I bring in. MP3 and MP4.
Ricky Slicks needs some last minute Christmas gift ideas for his sister.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean,
mad
it's
at
hard to
that
say.
stuff.
I don't know what she likes, what she's into. Get her Gus's sweater.
Oh yeah, this sweater would be great.
That would be good.
Oh, it'd be a talk of the party. Got a little cross on it. Show you love Jesus.
I'm bad. I'm a gift card guy for everybody.
No, I don't hate. I wouldn't say that's a bad thing.
No.
If you
easy.
don't know what to get someone, cash, gift card, like let them choose what
Yeah.
they want.
Absolutely.
So Warthog, does Gus ever have MP3 versions of the audio
Yeah.
he brings in? So this was a tough week for you.
What happened with the warthog? Like
I didn't know that was the warthog. I didn't know. I've never talked to the warthog before.
I couldn't believe that. Like warthog.
So
Fuck this
why
week.
don't this is the producer's show. Why don't you lay it out, your story behind what happened there?
Okay, so Warthog sends me to the DMs with the timestamps from your old pod. I listened to those. All right, so I listened to it, brought them in here to bring them up, and that was it.
That's your defense.
That was it.
That's your defense.
I mean, my defense was I listened to it when I was on the train coming in, and I had the stuff cut up, but
Right.
and I didn't go fully into the whole thing. So I have this next week I'm very excited for.
Gus, how would you grade your week?
Oh, my week this week was an F.
F.
It was there's no denying.
Yeah,
I'd like to. I think today. I mean, like, look, I'm like, it's like
I thought today got you to a D-, maybe.
Yeah, today was my best show of the week, but that's like being the skinniest kid at fat camp. You're still fat, so it's like.
Speaking of that, do you believe Montante's 250?
I can see 250.
I'm hanging around 250, but I have like the height.
Him saying Justin's at no,
just over 300.
Justin said over 300.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he texts us and is like, "Oh, thank you guys for thinking I'm around 300."
Oh, I thought it's 280, 285.
But he wears it so well because it's the height.
Right,
the height thing helps him out so much on that.
Let's see. But to Warthog's question, do you ever have MP3 versions of the audio? So I know you do because I see that you have Audition up. It's the times when you go to YouTube for certain clips that you get fucked.
Yeah.
And it's a mix of, maybe you didn't listen fully, but also I've seen it refresh on you, and I'm just like, I can't physically help you here.
It's an auto refresh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why I say it just.
Yeah, because like people on this side not knowing, it's like, whoa, just refreshed on me. I'm like, don't you have to hit the button to refresh?
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't know.
Because just sometimes switching from tab to tab.
I got it.
Because like with some of the stories when we don't have the audio and it's just like we're reading from an article, I'm pulling up the article so that way I can look through it, see the key spots is that as well. There's so much. Oh, the blackout curtains. Coleman, would you like to talk about the blackout curtains?
Yes. So
that would be great.
I've been working on it. Like, seriously, have been going back and forth, trying to get this done. The problem is that you have to have someone specific cutting them, and I guess not everyone cut, like at a Home Depot or whatever, like
can cut them.
Yeah. Like that's actually a thing. So they're coming. I've been working on it. I believe me, I want them because it's going to be better camera quality, especially on the people sitting there.
The guests and us in here too. Mainly Coleman.
And honestly in here too, yeah.
Coleman looks like an angel right now with the amount of white behind him.
It is like.
But it's coming. I'm dying for it to get fixed. But I'm working on it. Still have been. But yeah, New Year. Let's see what else. Second time Coleman brought up McCarthy. Yeah, I admit it is a bit of a long shot call, I guess, for me, but I don't know. Sometimes, like, really with sports, I just kind of have these gut feelings sometimes, and maybe that's why I'm actually not bad at gambling. Is because
he was so happy this morning. Oh, you had some good bets last night.
My last 3 bets I've hit.
Maybe?
Well, that's what they say. Bet with your gut, not with your head.
Exactly. Well, yeah. I think you got to use a little bit of both, but I tend to always just think in like the storyline of the league, storyline of a team, as opposed to actual stats, actual numbers. And, maybe that translates to better betting. Who's to say? But I'm rolling this week. I hit Knicks -1.5 into Celtics money line that night, and then I had Puka Nacua anytime last night.
That's good.
Puka Nacua.
Was that was plus 900 or something?
Yeah, plus 900 for first touchdown.
Let's see what else. Almost seems like he has more responsibility than Coleman. Honestly, every morning when we come in here, Gus and I have our own topics that the day before we'll kind of pull and collect, but also be talking to each other about. And like, there's times I shut down ideas. There's times Gus shuts down ideas on me. Like it's very fluid. And I tend to focus on getting the full cuts of the stuff I know that is going to be right off the rip of the show. I know people hate when I say that, but like the important stuff of the important stuff of the day, some of the stuff that I'll also dabble into drops. So like whenever Steve has something, like I'm going through that audio and collecting drops as well. I tend to do a lot more of the Barstool related stuff.
Well, Cullinane thinks you guys don't talk to each other. I mean,
We do though. We talk a lot.
I found that strange the other day.
I'm like,
you guys even talk to each
No,
other?
Every morning we do. And it's like, because you even heard me
And
today.
throughout the day,
You guys
though.
do, absolutely.
We text.
I can't tell you how many times like I've been sitting on the couch with my wife and she just goes, "Who's that texting you?" I go, "Man, that's just Coleman."
Yeah.
Well, today it was all Montante when I walked in. That voice just carries
Yeah.
down the hallway.
Let's see.
Gus, where was David? Did Gus ask for the rimmer, or did the lady friend who found him funny as a comedian offer to do it?
It was her, right? We can confirm it was her.
What?
Your lady comedy friend.
No, it's not her.
Okay.
No. If you know my type, that's not my type.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I kind of know your type, and
My wife's my type.
well,
Good answer.
Good answer.
Good
yeah.
answer.
Let's see. 1 flask or 2 for Subway in Delaware.
0. I would recommend 0. Being a drunk audience member usually does not end well.
No. How was the
If you
Papagino's night
brought
the
Oh,
other
it's
day?
so
There
much
was-
fun.
Right off the
Nobody
rip, I
was
couldn't hear it today.
drunk or
No
anything?
one was drunk. Everyone was good.
That's good.
I like McFuss now.
Well, that's like another thing. Like I saw some tweets from the Papaginos of like, how come no one's giving us an update? That's something for if you won that contest. That's part
That
of what
should
that's
just be
what
part of
you
the
get.
experience,
If
right.
any of the other Minifans wanted to like take pictures and stuff of that, yeah, share it. It's like that.
Yeah, but that's.
But this
you
is
won the. You won that.
You get it. There's always there's something special about winning, and one of the things is you get to hear stories that you might not normally get to hear.
Exactly. No,
Okay.
I like Kirk saying to put your phones away. Those people deserve to hear that story more than the entire audience.
Right. It felt like a very intimate night when we were there. It was really just hanging out with the fans and, having some pizza, having some Papaginos, good stuff. Looking back at the show this week, so I think yesterday's show, the big takeaway was the Al Mick brotherly rivalry going on. Just amazing stuff. I mean, in the past, even I think I've gone back and forth with Al on Twitter and stuff and found him annoying. I was all in yesterday.
Yeah.
That fucking ruled. He just
Big win for
steamrolled.
Al.
That was a big
Steamrolled
win.
Mick. Unbelievable.
And Mick with the guy that he's talking to, the
Right.
guy he was texting with. I think that was overshadowed because he was all into it, saying this guy wants to fuck him. I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
It's crazy, and I would like to look more into the legality of all that, because when we were kind of looking on the fly on the show, I was getting some conflicted responses. I mean, regardless, hitting on a 16-year-old, male or female,
That's gross.
it's gross.
No.
It's gross and it's wrong, and this dude deserves to, be brought down, I think. But I'm really excited for that. I think that's something new, interesting, that, could be some fun. I think Mick, out of all of the candidates, has probably done the best job. John from Scranton stays within the world, of course,
Yeah,
but he was
he
always
does.
truly a part of that world. But I think Mick, a prediction for 2024 is that Mick will be, of the candidates, probably the most
Involved.
involved in
Yeah.
terms of this show, not the network, not everything else,
Yeah.
but in terms of the Kirk Minahan show. I think Mick, out of
He
everyone,
seems
is
like
the
a good
most involved.
content guy. He really
Yeah.
wants to do something in content and to keep his name in the mix with Kirk.
I
so-
don't think Beyond Average is that bad. Like I think
No, it's
that
good.
I think that he has a good cadence and is a pretty solid interviewer too. So
He had a good
I
back
wish
and
him
forth
well.
with BA the other day. that I
Yeah.
heard. Last week I think he was on with BA, and I thought it went really well.
Steve keeps bringing up the Mick bait almost like it turns him on.
No. Absolutely not. No way.
Mick bait might get him a desk next to Clemmer. What are your guys' predictions for Clemmer for the next year? I'm interested in that. Because this was a weird bit of year since I've been here where we had and looking back through the episodes, At a Theater Near Me was a pretty decent
That was
storyline
good.
going on.
They are really trying to push him though. KFC's really trying to push him, and there's got to be something there. I mean, that KFC likes about him.
I mean, he's a freak.
Yeah, right.
And I've said that to Clemmer's face, like in doing stool scenes and
Well,
stuff.
even
but
when he came here,
I
we were doing the
enjoy him.
KMS scenes, and he had me do like the keep your he can get compact, he calls it, and it's the
compact.
He gets compact, and
Yeah.
he crunches up and like goes into a ball, but puts his heels on the ground. I don't know how he does it.
And
Yeah.
and everything that Kirk has said and what we've talked about in the show in regards to Clemmer with them really liking him. Like I was there for a lot of that. Like they love Clemmer. Like he is a core part of that group of like Marty, Hubs, like all of those baseball guys. Like
what does he do during the week? Because I see him on the
blogs.
Monday night like the football thing.
He'll blog. He goes
does
out,
pick 'em.
His NYC facts,
or not pick 'em,
Right.
sorry.
But I see
Pick
him on the
Central.
stream like every Monday night. He's on like the football thing and
he's a gambler.
yeah. But I don't know like what else he really does like 5 days a week while he's
working on Rat Race.
Working on Rat Race.
Should be big. Should be huge. This is another question between Clemmer and Justin, because they've always had, kind of this rivalry going on too. If Justin's in Chicago, who do you think that we spend more time talking about their content? Clemmer or Justin?
Clemmer, because I think Clemmer's going to have more opportunities for content right off the bat, whereas Justin, I see him as kind of going in more on the behind the scenes type of stuff first.
Yeah,
and
well, I think Kirk said like he would be a
Justin's going to work
producer.
himself into that role.
Yes.
Yes.
But it would be one of
It
those
won't take
situations.
long. Justin's
wonderful.
Justin's going to go in. He would just go in, kind of just be Justin himself, nice, kind of kept to himself, do his job well, and then once people start talking to him and realizing, like, Big Cat obviously knows of him, Hank's going to know of him, but like when the other people from Barstool Chicago get to talk to him, I think they'll realize, like, oh, this is another.
Yeah, and Justin will proactively do things.
Yeah,
like
he
even
will.
not being asked, he'll go out and he'll find content and he'll be like, "Hey, Dan, I have something if you want to use it."
Right. Yeah.
Where I don't think Clemmer doesn't do that on his own as much. I think Clemmer's part of that whole group, and he wants to make sure.
Yeah, I mean,
that
he does
contributes.
his facts, his New York facts or whatever, which
Yeah.
Let's see. I feel like there was some decent questions coming in. Who's in Mike and the Minifans tonight? Who's on Mike and the Minifans tonight? So Steve, you're there.
I think I'm on. Justin's on.
Oh, great. That's solid.
Definitely BA. I
would
don't
hope.
know who else.
Let's see. I can reach out to the act. She'll let me know.
Manners for sure. I think there's. Hold on, I have it.
Did she send out the group message?
Not yet.
People are still wondering about the shirt today. Was
Whoever
it a bit?
People's
No,
Republic.
it was. We talked about doing ugly sweaters for the last show before Christmas.
Do we know who People's Republic of Coleman is?
Do not, but
It's a Coleman guy.
Because I think
I'm
he's
a
going to be
fan.
on tonight.
Really?
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what.
I'm getting at. I don't know. This is what the act said.
I love that. I'm curious to see who it is. Be awesome if it was just like my brother or something.
That'd be great.
Be fucking great.
I am excited to meet Chris.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps himself. He does his thing. He's never really been involved in anything I do. He doesn't keep up with the show or anything. He understands somewhat that he's talked about or kind of a thing, but he just does his thing. He's in school, working. Has no problems with
Doing
it.
tricks?
Yeah, doing magic.
Does he really do tricks like?
Oh, since he's been 4 years old.
But does he like practice things off the family? Like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
we do this. and-
That's how I
You have to
for probably like 10 or so years he would try out new stuff, new tricks with me so that I would be like the test run almost, and I would kind of see the fuck up.
Yeah.
So I kind of learned how a lot of stuff was done. And also when we would go to different magic shows or whatever over the years, we've seen like Chris Angel or Penn and Teller or whatever, I'd always sit next to him and he would whisper, how they're doing stuff, which is crazy. Like this kid is younger than me and he's blowing my mind about some of this magic that goes on.
Crazy. Some of the stuff that they do.
Yeah, really cool. So interesting, but he's the man. I can't knock him. We get along great. So yeah. What else do we got?
Magic Devil worshippers. Will there be new guest Minifans on the show next year, or just more reruns? So
No, so I've been
Reruns.
keeping a track of suggestions, people who've reached out. I'm feeling them out. Sometimes you do strike with lightning, and you get someone who's great. That's super random that no one knows. So I try to keep that in mind, but you know, a lot of the people have seemed to kind of be offering a bit of like too focused on the self-promotion and
If
you know, got their own thing going on. I don't know just how big of a fan they are. I also don't know if they know fully what they're getting into because it's been some newer fans sometimes that have been reaching out. So I'm keeping track. I'm going to work some people in. Someone recent that I've kept bringing up was I thought John and Warren's appearance on Mike and the Minute.
I was going to bring him up.
He's someone that I would
really
potentially like on.
But that's the perfect example. The easiest way I can just say this that I think will help both Coleman and myself is one, if you have the opportunity, go on the network. It'll make it easier for us to see how that person is on camera. We know it can't be compared to each one, but can you at least talk into a microphone better than me? Can you which isn't hard, but it's like one of these situations that it's a situation. It's like, all right, can you talk? Can you handle yourself? Can you come prepared? Because the last thing I want to do is have two new people in there and both of them be duds, because then it's just like,
because then he's going to calls within a half an hour.
And we don't want to. We obviously wouldn't want to have that happen. So if you can give us tape to look at, give us tape to look at. If you don't want to go on Mike and the Minute fans for some reason, you don't like Benners or whatever, that's fine. Andrew.augustus@barstoolsports.com. Email me it like a little trial if you have a podcast of your own. Like, I'll listen to it. Just give us something other than, hi, I'm a Minute fan, I want to come in.
That is a good idea.
Because that might have worked on Cullinane. That might have worked on Cullinane. Not going to work here.
I will say that there is that intimidation factor when he walks down the hall and you see him for the first time. Like, okay, it's your first appearance. It's a lot different hearing him when you're at home than seeing him in the same room.
Right.
Oh,
and if you don't have that experience of like going on the network, you're going to freeze when you see him.
And
you just will.
There's the freezing aspect. I also think it's like also knowing you're being recorded as you're just getting laid into. Look, if you come in here, I'm gonna tell everybody, everything is open. Like you're opening yourself up to the potential Kevin call.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got off easy today.
Yeah, you did.
You got off very easy.
All he had. Like, I'm waiting for him to like bring up my daughter or something. I'm like, oh no, like please don't. Like I'm like, that's all you have for me, Kevin? Wow.
Yeah. I haven't gotten really.
I don't think I've ever gotten a Kevin question.
I don't think you guys have either.
No,
It's always been the people.
It's always been everyone in there. I mean, I'm fine with it.
This is fine. I love it. Kevin's been.
I love listening to Kevin calls.
Was that the first time you guys saw Kirk a little off when that call came in about his?
Kevin's
that was the
call.
one
Just say
time
Kevin's
Kirk
call.
froze. I was like, whoa.
Well, who was it that says like he normally answers everything and he didn't answer? He did answer a long time after. But
he did, but that was one of the first, like the rare occasions that you see Kirk pause. You're like, oh, how do I like? But no, I agree. John from Warren would be somebody I think would be able to come in and do this.
Yeah, he was actually, he told me about a potential place for like if like a small pop-up live show thing we might do at a theater in Warren.
Yeah.
That's connected to a record store.
Nice.
I was like, so that's a potential good venue for stuff if needed down in Rhode Island for anything.
Suburban Tug Time. Coleman, what's your biggest frustration with Kirk so far? I don't really have one. I don't think I've been really frustrated at any point. I don't know. Maybe like age difference is a real thing.
Yeah.
Like in thinking of topics, like something that I'd maybe find interesting or within Barstool that might be interesting to someone younger like me.
Well, he's double your age, right? He's 50 or
23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that, but legitimately like zero frustration. I've thoroughly enjoyed working here and being a part of it all. It's great.
Well, that's a lie because you get frustrated whenever he asks you to name a baseball player.
No, but I think I think that's that's part of the show. It's fun.
But you also haven't gotten it yet, though, Coleman, from him. Like the real rage that he used to give to Cullinane, to Steve, to Gus. Like you haven't received that beat down yet.
Sure.
So how do you think you'd react to it when he does come at you guns blazing?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but
it's going to happen eventually.
No, it sucks, but it's, the show goes on. Like, you still got to do your job, and, you got to just fucking take it and move on to the next show the next day and try again, be better.
Because you can see, like, that intensity still with Cullinane. Like
Right.
the other day, like Cullinane said something. He's like, "Oh, the hockey thing." He's like, "Oh, I didn't want to bring him up." And Kirk's like yelling, "Well, you said it." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, there's still that intensity to Cullinane that he hasn't had with you yet, Coleman." So I'm like, I felt bad for Cullinane in that spot. Like, oh, he's still yelling at Dave, you know?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. There's not much you can do. You just got to take it. So that's the plan. Nadeau. So, yeah, this announcement this week about Nadeau and Rico, I'm really still kind of unsure where everything stands. And I don't know. It feels like maybe there's something more. I think the tell for me is going to be the next dozen match.
Yeah.
I want to see Kirk in action with Rico and see what he says, see
he's done
how
this.
Rico responds. I'm curious to see exactly what that is.
But he's done this before with Rico, too. I think it's more of like trying to get Rico fired up in a good way because,
yeah, sure.
like, like last year during the dozen, he was like playing this like thing with Rico. And then all of a sudden, Rico turned the corner again for some reason. He started to like him again. But so he's had this hot and cold relationship with Rico. And I think it's more to like get under his skin and get him to like pick up something like maybe dozen wise or something else.
Right.
Like to
Well,
get
the
him
whole
going.
Rico thing came to light this year, with the con stuff too.
Yeah.
and that's Rico was on Kirk's team. Kirk kicked him off the team, traded for him back after him
Yeah,
to Quigs.
yeah.
So it's one of those things that if you can see what Kirk's doing. Jeff, and I'll even say, Nadeau got back to me today with some dates. So,
Oh, really?
Yep. He has some dates he wants to interview with Kirk. And look, Kirk's going to go wherever Kirk wants to go. So
And we'll see how Rico reacts.
and Rico, it's going to be in Rico's court, how he's going to react to it. Is he going to handle it well? Is he going to get mad at the skip?
Oh my God, when he gets mad, that's great. Who did he throw a can at? What was that guy's name?
Oh, Big T.
Big
Now,
T.
the answer to Jeff's question today.
Oh, that's right.
That was fun.
That was good.
I panicked when he first asked me because I knew I had a feeling of what the theme was going to be. I just didn't know what category he would go under that, and he went with music.
Yeah.
And the only reason why is she is the only African American female winner I know of.
Mariah
Spoiler
Carey?
alert.
No, Fantasia.
Oh, Fantasia. No,
Yeah.
I thought you meant like in terms of winning.
No. Because what was it? Ruben won too.
Yep.
Yeah, Ruben.
Yeah.
Ruben was before her, I believe.
Yeah, no, Ruben won because one was Kelly.
It was Kelly and then Ruben. Yeah.
Or was it Kelly? Someone Ruben. I don't know.
I think it was Kelly then Ruben.
Was Ruben's the year where everyone was mad that Ruben won and not the other person?
Was Ruben Clay Aiken year?
Oh yeah. No. Yes, it was.
Right?
It was same year. Same year.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kelly, Montante got all excited with the Kelly Keeks talk.
Who's the bigger pervert?
Wow.
Montante or Menas? Jeez.
Wow.
Don the Jeweler, is there a set date for Portland ticket sales? Before today, I don't think we had an exact.
No exact date, just the
but
week
then-
of Martin Luther King.
Yes.
That's all that's been said.
Exactly. So, more info about that coming for sure. Coleman, which character is your favorite in the Muppet Christmas Carol? I actually haven't really seen the Muppet Christmas Carol. I know Julie's a
what?
major fan. I maybe saw it like once or twice when I was really young.
Like his age, I'm 33, so I've seen that
Yeah.
growing up. That was a childhood staple of mine.
I think I had as well, like once or twice, but it wasn't one of those that like I really.
It's not a childhood
Coleman,
for his
wait.
childhood. It's not a
Coleman,
staple.
wait till you have kids, then you start
Oh, I'm
watching
down.
all this stuff.
Hell yeah! No, I'm always down to watch whatever.
Anything to pass time. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, yeah.
I'll say Muppets in general. I like Animal.
Give me
He's funny.
Gonzo.
Nah, Animal's the man.
Do we have a set date for Delaware yet? The 20th.
January 20th.
January the 20th.
Let me see if I have.
I can't eat a Justin down there though. I can't do pepper. I can't do hot. Jalapenos.
Jalapenos, no, I'm the same way.
It just
do it.
not good.
So let's just recap and wrap things up here a little bit. So Jeff D'Lo was named Minifan of the Year. Was
Well
he your
deserved.
guys' picks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do you stand? Yeah.
Yeah, so I said it when we first brought it up on the show, and Mike was like, "Oh, I got the person." I go, "I think I'm thinking of you too," and he goes, "I hope not." And I'm like,
Yeah. No, definitely him.
Definitely Jeff. It's like, again, yes, he hasn't been to a live show yet, but he's done content for live shows, sent the stuff in from when we could hear it, Plymouth, and I think even listening back, like when he does call in, he always calls in with a purpose. He did today.
Yeah.
Want to give everyone a question. It was nice.
His videos are funny, like the Pat Ford Day stuff.
But this
like,
is my
he's
thing.
Really
Like,
good.
if a lot of his Minifan interactions or like Minifan posts are around Pat Ford, does that not give Pat Ford a more valid reasoning behind being Minifan?
Well,
I'm not even saying
as
Pat
I said
Ford's my Minifan
yeah,
of the
no,
year.
no,
but
I get that.
Oh.
As I said on Mount Kirkmore, I think Steve from Gloucester, Pat Ford, they're early nominations for 2024 because they kind of got their
Yeah,
start
I came
here.
in way too late. And so did Pat.
That's
Yeah.
that's exactly what I said because you and Pat came around similar times towards the end of that. And I think what puts Jeff above it was he's been a fan before. He's been tweeting at Justin.
Right.
He's even challenged Justin to the Star Wars trivia, which we still got to set up in 2024. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
As well. Oh, that was a funny
well,
thing.
Tim was always going to be up there, and
Yeah, no, it's like
But I thought Justin, but then it was like, oh, Justin's part of the show, so it was either for me it was Justin or Jeff were like my 1-2.
yeah, because Justin is much more part of the show than Jeff.
Yeah.
And it's so that's why when it came up and what was it when Ron took Justin, I was like, I love Justin. Yeah, you could give it to him every year because technically he's not paid by the show, but
Right.
he's a part of the show. I mean, $29K.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, if Justin were to be allowed, I think he's my pick. The Subway thing was that's top moment in my run here. So,
But who would be
I'd go
the
Justin.
next person? We eliminate Jeff. We eliminate
Justin.
Justin. Who would be the next person that you would have voted for? Menners?
No.
No,
I'm just thinking out loud. Like
I
BA,
can't. I can't let
Menners,
Manners have his ego. Have that.
BA?
I'm
Tim? Like I'm just
I
trying
mean,
to think.
Tim. Tim, you could always put up there. I mean, again, the man had a heart attack and called from the emergency room.
Yeah.
That's a dedicated fan.
Very.
Got to give it to him on that.
And then also, we didn't really get to name a caller of the year, but who were your guys' picks for caller?
I mean,
of the year?
Kevin, done.
Kevin,
I
Trump.
might go Juan.
Trump.
Juan kills me every time.
Juan is good.
Juan was good, and I think Juan was new this year.
Is it? I could be just completely off here, and I probably am, because sometimes when I say these things, I'm off. But is Kevin Juan? Could that be a possibility?
I had thought Kevin, when I first heard his voice, was Kevin from Bristol, but then I'm off of that now. So
I can confirm it's not Kevin
It's
from
not
Bristol.
Kevin from
I
Bristol.
don't think it is either.
No,
Yeah.
I can confirm it's not. The numbers don't match up.
Okay. The Juan.
I mean, Juan's a great caller.
Juan's a great caller. He really is.
I'm sorry about his family, but great caller.
Yeah.
I'm partial to JJ too.
I'm-
JJ always gets a little.
Yeah, he gets
laugh
that
out of
laugh
me.
right off the
Yeah.
bat. Trump is really good.
But he's been more sporadic. I think what hurt Trump a little bit, and I don't think it was this year. I think it was last year it happened. Was when they had the Jerry West caller,
Yeah, that was good.
and then at the end of it, and he goes, "And I'm not that person. You want to know who I am? Hello." And he
That's
just
right,
like,
yes.
"Dad, can't do that." It's
Yes.
as I had a friend go through this. Do not, if you're a parody caller, you're like anything parody, don't ruin.
Now, do they do that in public? Do they come up to you guys and say, "Hey, I'm so and so. I'm so and so"?
Sometimes
I feel like
Yeah.
it's more with like Twitter.
Twitter people
Yeah.
will do
Yeah.
it more so than callers, which is, it is. I mean, Kurt's
Right.
desk is hilarious.
Yeah.
Even when you meet him, it's
Because the
Kurt's
guy,
desk.
remember John Amos, the caller?
Oh, yeah.
He was funny, and I don't remember if he was this year or last year, but John Amos was good.
John Amos, I mean, I'm always impartial to Blind Mike's daddy being a friend of mine, but he's the perfect example why you need to you got to keep some
going.
veil of secrecy if you're going to
Yeah.
have the calls.
And it's too bad that some of them drop off, because I remember when he first started, the Sopranos caller was awesome. The guy would call in and just be given Uncle June references, and then he'd hang up, and I'm like, what happened to that guy?
The Sopranos caller would just call in and just.
Or like Drunk Greg Hill, he was great when he called. It's like, why do these guys come back?
I think part of it could be like the calls run its course. Like, I mean, we don't trash on Greg Hill anymore. We don't. It's kind of one of those things that the show's moved on from it.
Yeah. So I would say,
So some callers will come and go, and like I know there's there's fans of the show who've called in as other personas trying to call in other ways.
Right.
So if it hits, it hits. If not, not.
So I would say Kevin. I think we've gone through it. I would say Kevin.
I like Kevin. It's just the questions, just no filter, just gotta answer
the whole like or no thing.
Or,
like that's what,
or no.
Or no.
And then we'll just kind of fully close out. Last couple questions. Steve, have you ever purchased or considered purchasing a mail order bride?
No.
Okay.
No.
Gotta ask.
Hey, if you want to make some shkadol, we were talking about trashy reality TV. 90 Day Fiance.
All right.
Just saying.
All right.
You could be a star, Steve.
There we go. I'll have to call Sean Stellato and get me.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Get him there.
That's how it begins, right?
You gotta find yourself a nice girl from a different country, and then you're gonna have her assimilate and move here.
Well, there we go. I mean, if we go to Sicily next year and do a show there,
Bring back an
we're all
Italian
there.
broad.
We're all there.
I think Spencer does bring up a good point about Jeff. Is that he posts and he's able to get his calls in on the show, being a friend of Kirk, as opposed to a regular Minifan. Is there a point in time in this next year where even outside of Kirk and Jeff being friends, let's say everything is great there, do the Minifans turn on Jeff?
I mean,
it's hard to.
I think some will. It's just inevitably some fans in this world will turn on Jeff one way or another. Because
they turn on everybody. It doesn't matter who it is. But where would you turn on him though? Because he doesn't have that personality like a Rico that you would be like, wow, I hate this guy. Like, there's really nothing to hate about Jeff.
The only way I think Jeff gets pure, full, 100% Minifan hate would be if something happens in the dozen, where it's like in the dozen.
Spencer agrees, yeah.
If something happens in the dozen tournament, and let's just say the questions were so much harder for Kirk than it was, then something like that, I think you'll see the Minifan. It has to be something in the dozen, and it has to be something that fucks Kirk over.
You are right. You know that the one-on-ones this year with Frank.
Yeah,
he did get a little bit of heat for that. Like, you changed the game mid-fly.
I mean, I gave it to him.
People gave him grief because
Don saying
it was
that
like a roll with Frank rolled in that game, and he wasn't supposed to if Jeff would have kept the rules.
And good point Don brought up. We were ready to kill him after the first episode of Survivor.
Yeah.
So that's the only way I can see Jeff falling out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had one more show wrap-up question. Damn. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Best of coming next week. So that'll be fun. Definitely some stuff to tie you guys over until we are back.
Now, are you breaking those up into multiple days or just one?
It'll
big
be
thing?
one drop.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
one drop. You'll get to see some of those broken up segments through socials and stuff, and we'll kind of planning on doing some of our better performing clips of the year. We'll repost again. That's kind of like an internally encouraged thing to do, just so accounts aren't low or anything. But thanks for everything, Steve, Gus. Appreciate the two of you. Gus, it's been a pleasure working with you this year. And to the Minifans, thank you guys. Thank you for all your support and continually tuning in and being as avid watchers and listeners as you guys are. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Wishing nothing
say it in
but
Italian,
the best.
Coleman. Come on, let's hear it.
I don't know if I got it right. Buon onore.
No, Buon Natale.
Buon Natale.
There we go.